What is up, Winthrop? Welcome to the live stream. Save Winthrop. Give it a minute. What we do. Well, we got a lot to cover tonight. This is all about Winthrop. Winthrop, Massachusetts. Little Winthrop, Massachusetts. A mile and a half by a mile and a half or something like that. It's not that big. Let me check this. Let's see what we got. Waiting. Give me a minute. All right, let's see how that is. All right, let's see how that is. I think we're good. Are we good? All right, let's see how that is. I think we're good. Are we good? All right, let's see how that is. No, I'm getting feedback. I think we're good. Are we good? Just double check the audio. No, I'm getting feedback. All right. We are good. You always got to wait for people to come into the live stream anyways. So that's when you check your audio. So that's what you got. Well, welcome to night number 2. Night number 2 of Save Winthrop. Big election coming up next week on the 4th. And really, Winthrop is, it's a Winthrop election about Winthrop. This is, again, I will repeat this a number of times. This is not Democrat versus Republican. This is not liberal versus conservative. This is about the town of Winthrop and the future of Winthrop. And the candidates are going to make the difference. One in particular that is running for town council president with zero experience, by the way. Zero experience. She has been Hannah Belcher, Little Miss Winthrop. You know, the thing about Hannah Belcher is she is not naive. She might come across as this, nice, front-facing person. She's not naive. She's not stupid. Nope. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows who exactly is pulling her strings, which is Lydia Edwards. State Senator Lydia Edwards is pulling her strings. She is along for the ride. She is literally, you will hear me say this a lot, a Trojan horse to Winthrop. If she gets elected, which depends on you people, the voters. If she gets elected, Winthrop will change forever. That's a fact. This is not some made-up thing. It will change forever. Winthrop, as it is, as we know it, will change. The state will then have their launch pad through Hannah Belcher to do whatever they want in that town. And she will go along with it. This is politics, people. This isn't party driven. This is straight, raw, aggressive politics. This is the state wanting to get what they want and using a useful tool is all Hannah is. Because let me tell you, she's running for town council president. This woman, and she's a woman, she's 37 years old. She's a grown woman. She might come across like acting young and like somebody said to me, like, you know, every time you talk to her, you think she sucked on some helium. She's a 37-year-old woman who's done nothing for Winthrop. Nothing. I got this today because after last night, I got a lot of people sending me things. And this was one of them. This one was actually pretty straightforward. It says, "Hi Scott, I'm not sure if you watched Hannah's video. I think there was a candidates talk moment on WCAT, the local cable access channel. This person says she talks about being hardworking and on several committees and how the council needs to be more transparent." Now, this is the inexperienced 37-year-old woman who has the backing of a state senator and a union for Winthrop. I am going to keep pounding this home. Why is a union backing Hannah Belcher for town council president? Winthrop town council president. You have to see this. You have to be able to see that there's something wrong here. There's something in play here. And she is all for it because she's going to get a state job out of this. She is in this for herself. Anyway, back to this. And I'm going to get to more of that. Hannah talks about being hardworking and on several committees and how the council needs to be more transparent. Remember, she said these words. She is the chair of Rules in the Ordinance Subcommittee. The Rules and Ordinance Subcommittee. She's the chair of that. She's held 9 meetings, and only one meeting has minutes. Now, by state law, all these meetings have to have minutes. There has to be minutes for transparency. Evidently not on Hannah's committee. Nope. No minutes. You can go look it up on the town website. The Rules and Ordinance Subcommittee. You can go to the town website and you'll see that you can look up minutes and there are none there. She can't even run a subcommittee, let alone a town that has the state knocking on the door. The devil is at the door, as they say. 9 meetings and only one of the meetings has minutes. Why is that laziness? Does she think that this doesn't matter to the people? Because no one's going to look at the Rules and Ordinance Subcommittee. This is how Hannah thinks. When you run a committee, these are the things you're supposed to be on top of. This is like the simplest of simple. This is Committee 101. Minutes. Who says what? during the meeting. She's on the town council. She knows that minutes exist. But yet, she thinks nobody's looking. Is this the woman you want running the town of Winthrop? This shows that she is not fit for this job. She can't even run a subcommittee. I'm not making this up. This is all for you to find out. It's right there. A subcommittee. But she wants to run the town. She wants to be the president of the town council. And transparency, she's all about transparency and hard work. You know what doesn't take hard work? You know what does not take hard work? Minutes at a meeting. So if she can't even take care of the minutes at a meeting or make sure minutes are being taken, what is she talking about hard work? And by the way, hard work is something else she didn't do for her constituents down Point Shirley. Now, this is a Winthrop live stream for Winthrop, so they know who I'm talking about. She can't even do that. As a matter of fact, who do we got running in her place? I got a lot of stuff today. In Precinct 3, that's what Hannah was the town councilor for Precinct 3, down the point. She did nothing for them, and I stated this last night. She did nothing for them. As a matter of fact, the people that I talk to, and there's a good handful of them, and they talk to their neighbors, say she was absolutely useless. And the fact that she's not going to be their town councilor representing, well, not representing them, but being there in name, it's a title. Look at me, I'm on the town council. And somehow they were foolish enough to make her the town council vice president because she's little cute, little Hannah, little Miss Winthrop, 37-year-old woman. Yeah. Who can't even get minutes done at her subcommittee meeting. I know I'm stepping all over this, but you have to understand that is the simplest of simple, and she could not accomplish that. She overlooked that. So what is she going to do if she gets elected to the town council president? Is she just going to sit back? No. She will sit back and let Lydia Edwards, who hates Winthrop, she'll let Lydia Edwards do whatever she wants. Lydia, what do I do, Lydia? What do I do, Lydia? What do I do, Lydia? Lydia, what do I do? Well, first of all, Hannah, what we can do is we could have a lemonade stand down the point. Let's do that. Or down the landing. Let's have a lemonade stand, Hannah. And you just pour the lemonade. Let me do all the work. Because Hannah, you can't do hard work. So, Hannah, you just pour the lemonade, do as you're told, and everything will be okay. Okay, Lydia, sure. What about the orange juice? What if they ask for orange juice, Lydia? Well, then, Hannah, you give them orange juice. Okay, Lydia. Okay, because we have two pitches, and you were saying lemonade. You need to be more transparent, Lydia. Okay, Hannah. If they want the orange drink, you give them the orange drink. If they want that kind of greenish yellow drink, you give them that. Okay, Lydia. That's exactly what you're going to get with her in that chair. But the people evidently down the point, her constituents are excited that she's not going to be there anymore because they're going to get somebody. And I've heard a lot about this guy. Like I said, a lot of people, oh, here it is. A lot of people sent me a lot of stuff today. Joe Romano. Joe Romano is running for that town council seat. And if you're down the point and you're in Precinct 3, Joe Romano is evidently your man. Now, I got this today in reference to Joe Romano. Let's see. He went to school with my daughter, very smart and intelligent, got over $20,000 in scholarships from Winthrop. Let me see, Precinct 3, the point, and I think it goes somewhere to the High Street. So somebody sent me a thing about Joe Romano today, and I didn't even ask about it. I didn't ask about it. So if you're in precinct 3, well, you're losing Hannah because she's not going to come back to that. This is literally a do or die for her, I think. Like she's all in, and there's a reason she's all in. She's feeling comfortable. Lydia has her comfort level very high. I wonder why. All she does is go and take photo ops. But Winthrop, this is the important thing, Winthrop. This is the important thing that you need to listen to. Since she announced her candidacy for the town council president with the backing of Lydia Edwards, there's been approximately 535 new voters added to the voters registration list. 535 now. How does that happen? Like in Winthrop, again, mile by a mile and a half, somewhere in there. And all of a sudden, there's 535 new registered voters in Winthrop. Lydia Edwards is involved with her. The union's involved with Hannah. Is this coincidence? I think not. It's something that you need to know. It's something you need to pay attention. But know how you offset that? You know how you offset that 535 new voters registered, who some said that there was addresses that was a salon. Somebody said they looked at the voters registration and they saw someone that hasn't lived there since 2022. They saw some people that allegedly illegal through their kids. They know that their kids go to school with those kids who are here illegally, but they go to the Winthrop school system anyway. And they know that these people, and they're on the list as voters because, well, Massachusetts just gives you a driver's license, evidently. So this is kind of odd. But you know how you offset that? You offset that by getting out and voting. I don't mean to sound like an asshole to you, but I have to emphasize you have to get out and vote. Your neighbors have to get out and vote. And I know, like I said last night, I'll be repetitive. I know it's a pain in the ass. There's early voting going on now. There's a mail-in voting thing, which I don't know why that still exists, but it's Massachusetts. So you have to watch that too. Again, this is to save the integrity of Winthrop. You're not voting Democrat or Republican. This is to save what is left of Winthrop right now. Because it will change the landscape. Literally, the landscape will change forever if Hannah Belcher gets in office. It will change forever. And Winthrop will cease to be Winthrop and have its own unique flavor, its own unique place. It's going to be an extension of East Boston. It is. This is not an exaggeration. This is what Lydia Edwards wants. She wants to destroy Winthrop. Again, a state senator, and by the way, a town council member, vice president of town council, that trolls their own town on Facebook. Those posts exist. I've seen them. I'm not making this up. It isn't like somebody told me and I heard it through the grapevine. I've seen these. They troll Winthrop. Who represents a town and then trolls them on social media? This is Hannah Belcher. This is exactly who Hannah Belcher is. Self-serving, narcissistic. Oh, and I know there's people out. So there's people out there that don't like that I'm doing this, by the way. There's a handful of people in Winthrop. Leonora Foley, she, her and her little ilk. The Tracy Honens. They're all out. They don't like that I'm doing this. I've already found that out. and I don't give a shit. You know what? Let me play something. This is exactly how I feel about that. Let's do this. Yeah, this is a live stream, so I got plenty of time. Let's see. To quote, well, I won't quote him. I'll let him say it. Let me see. Stay with me here. This is worth it. This is worth it. I think it's worth it. That's why I'm looking. So, let's see. I think this is the clip. There we go.
Everybody in this room knows the way that I feel about a lot of things. Basically, I don't give a fuck. Everybody in this room knows the way that I feel about a lot of things. Basically, I don't give a fuck.
That's right. I don't. What they think. Because I'm doing this for Winthrop. They are actually anti-Winthrop. They want 3A. They want to bring in 800 new units, 400 new units, 600. They want to take over the, what is it? It's Fort Banks, Fort Heath, all those areas. They want to take care. They want to take that over, and they want to just wreck a good little town just in the name of what? Progress? Winthrop can't handle the infrastructure it has right now. I've said this till I'm blue in the face. Winthrop cannot handle the infrastructure right now, let alone 400 more cars in Winthrop. Think of that. You can't park down the center on a Saturday morning anymore. But they don't care about that shit. They don't look at issues. They don't care about Winthrop. And again, this is about Winthrop. Your vote for Jim Lettieri preserves Winthrop. Your vote for Jim Lettieri for town council president preserves what we have of Winthrop right now, because he has fought the state off already. Lydia hates him. He got endorsed by Jeff Turco. Jeff gets it. Jeff gets exactly what's going on in Winthrop. Oh, what's about to happen to Winthrop? He gets it. That's why he's endorsing Jim Lettieri. And he's the rep for Winthrop. He knows. And Jeff's a pretty stable guy. He's a very level-headed guy. Why do you think he's not backing Hannah? Because he does not want 3A to come to Winthrop. But Hannah does, because Lydia does. So, again, to offset those 535 new voters on the voter registration list in Winthrop, you got to get out and vote. If you've never voted, this is the time to vote. If your family members, this is, again, don't fight over politics on this. Fight for the town of Winthrop. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're liberal, conservative, independent. It doesn't matter with this. So keep that in mind when you go to vote. Keep that in mind. Then you got her door knockers that they brought in from the state Democratic committee, whatever they are. And Lydia Edwards has them paying for door knockers to come into Winthrop. And I showed a picture of one last night, and I think that lady's a local lady. But there was a picture today of a guy standing at the bridge in Winthrop. You know, I'm voting for, I support Hannah Belcher. He's from Lowell. That's okay. That's okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't think he's ever been from Winthrop. I think somebody knows him, that he lives in Lowell. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But the door knockers that they meet somewhere every Saturday morning. And they're going around to people on Morton Street. I got this today, too. This is Hannah Belcher's people. This is not Jim Lettieri's people. This is Hannah Belcher's people. Lydia Edwards' people. The state of Massachusetts people. Morton Street is down by the marsh. These people, and this was told to me today, these door knockers, last week there was two evidently younger girls doing it together. And they told one of the residents that 3A gets grants and that without 3A, their house is going to sink. They were told to say this. They were told to scare these people into voting for 3A to the point where somebody at town hall and somebody on the town council was getting emails and phone calls saying, why aren't you for 3A? We're going to lose our house. Our house is going to sink. That happened. That happened. This is Hannah's people. This is what they're doing. That's as dirty as it gets. When you have strangers telling you that your house is going to sink because of whatever's going on and we're not going to get grants to fix this and that. We don't get grants anyways. Winthrop doesn't get grants anyways for anything like that. There's no grant money. But see, the uneducated voter, the person who just doesn't have time for this shit, to be perfectly blunt. The person that doesn't have time, I don't have time for this shit. We've all said that. Some of us say it every day. But when someone knocks on your door on a Sunday morning and tells you this, well, that's going to fuck up your day now, isn't it? And this is what's going on with Hannah Belcher and Lydia Edwards people. Vote for 3A. Vote for Hannah. She's for 3A. And your house will be saved. It's never going to happen. Those houses aren't going to sink anyways. But people worry down there, and I understand that. I'm familiar with that, what goes on there. But you can't believe a perfect stranger coming up to your house telling you that. But some people do. Because they're caught off guard on a Sunday morning. Who door knocks on a Sunday morning? Right? They do. Hannah Belcher's people don't. They do. So the fear-mongering about what's going to happen to your house and, going into Fort Banks and saying, oh, you need to vote for 3A and everything's going to be fixed. Everything will be good. We'll get grandma, blah, blah, blah. There is a saying that a politician will say anything to get elected. And they do. And they do. Every single one of them does. There's levels, right? There's levels of what they say. When they're going around, when these pro-3A people are going around saying, your house is going to sink, you're screwed. But if you vote for 3A, we're going to get grant money. And we're going to take care of Morton Street. You guys are going to be taken care of. Famous last words, right? Lydia Edwards could give two shits about Morton Street. Maura Haley could give two shits about Morton Street. And Hannah Belcher could give two shits about Morton Street. Who gives a shit about Morton Street? Jim Letary does, because Jim is all Winthrop. He has been keeping the wolves at bay. Again, you might not like him. And let's take it from that angle. You might not like Jim Letary. And that's fine. I'm not here to sell him to you. I'm not here to promote him. You don't see anything like vote for Jim Letary at the bottom. You see what's really happening at the bottom of this scroll. That's what the point of all of this is. But even if you don't like Jim Letary, and you could give a shit about Hannah, he is the better of two evils, if you really want to look at it from that angle. He is the better of two evils. Let me bring in the chat over here. Let me get that lit up. There we go. He is the better of two evils. Hannah is just bad news. I'm going to continue to say this. Again, fear-mongering. They got new voters. I'm going to beat her up a little more, but let's move on to a couple other things. This Joe Romano in Precinct 3, that guy intrigues me. I'd like to meet him. Sounds like a fine young man who's very interested in Winthrop. Evidently, as the story goes, him and a friend of his in high school used to watch the town council meetings, and they were really interested in what was going on in town. And they're in high school. I didn't do that. I don't know anybody in my class that did that. But this kid, Joe Romano, was evidently, he was interested in local politics. And he made a bet with with his friend. I don't know the kid's name offhand, but they're still friends today. As Winthrop, people stay friends forever for the most part. And they had a bet who was going to run for office first. And I guess this guy, Joe Romano, he's a guy now. He's a young man. He called his buddy and said, well, I won that bet. And this is going back to high school. So Precinct 3, you will be in beautiful hands. I trust this if you vote for Joe Romano. I don't know the other lady. From what I hear, they just kind of dragged her out to so he doesn't run unopposed. Yeah, Precinct 3 is kind of vulnerable, I think. Because Hannah ran it. And as you see, Hannah's done absolutely zero for Precinct 3 in 4 years, done nothing. She loves the title. So she loves the title. She loves being I'm a town councilor. And she dresses the part, right? In Lydia's clothes, evidently. She dresses the part. Wears the glasses, looks all, but does zero. Does zero for her people that elected her. Because I'm Hannah Belcher. I'm Little Miss Winthrop. Look at me. Well, they're regretting that vote. They are regretting that vote. So Precinct 3, evidently Joe Romano is your guy, Precinct 3. So get out there. You know who I forgot to talk about last night? And I'm going to talk about him tonight. And I am not done with Hannah by any means. Because everybody I'm talking about, evidently she is against. Because she has, let me see. Let me bring this up again. Hold on. This is the squad. This is Winthrop's version of the squad. Okay? I think Joe Aiello is Ariana Presley. I think that's her name. That's who we'll call him. Yeah. And Max is like Ilhan Omar. Max Tassinari will be Ilhan Omar. Hannah will be AOC because, well, they both have the same intelligence level. And they both wear glasses, right? And DeRoss that's his name, John DeRoss, Mr. Irrelevant. Just a guy who doesn't even show up for town council meetings anymore. Evidently, he's missed 4 in a row. I don't know what's up with that. You know, you run for office, where's your obligation? You don't just quit on the people. But these are the 4 that are at 3A that are on the town council. Winthrop's version of the squad. Oh, who is the dude? Who is the dude that was on the squad who pulled the fire alarm? Right? At the House of Representatives. He pulled the fire alarm or something to stop a vote. And he got axed pretty fast. I think that's this guy. But yeah, Joe Aiello is Ariana Presley. Because he's going bald. He should just take it home. Just shave it. But then again, no. Then doesn't matter. But Kurt Millar, he's running for at-large councilor. Look it, man. If there is a definition of perseverance and determination, it is Kurt Millar. This is the guy you want on that town council. This guy does not give up like Mr. Irrelevant did, who stopped showing up for meetings. DeRoss. Kurt Millar is the total opposite of that guy. The thing with Kurt, and I'm being brutally honest here, Kurt is a nice guy. He's just a fucking nice guy. Right? He won't play dirty politics, although it's been done to him. Again, that's the guy, that's the person that you want on the town council. When I was doing Winthrop votes with my friend Todd Sacco, who I love Todd Sacco, he is my friend, and I will say that to anybody. Like him or not, I love him. He's a friend of mine. I love all my friends. That's what Winthrop does, right? You learn about friendships. He would come on Winthrop votes, and he would break down budgets for the water bill of the town. I mean, this dude does the job. Kurt Millard does the job. And he'll do the job when he gets elected. He's run, I think, twice. Now, the average man, the average woman would say, okay, that's enough, right? Okay. I tried. This dude will not give up. He's out there going to events. He's just quiet about it. But he is more than qualified. Kurt Millard should be on the town council. That's a fact. Give him your vote. Give him your vote. You will not be disappointed like Precinct 3 was with Hannah and like whatever Precinct DeRoss represents, who just walked in unopposed, just decided he doesn't like it anymore, so he doesn't show up. Those are the people that are in the squad, the Winthrop squad. They're quitters. They're quitters. They don't follow through. They love the title. Oh, look, I'm going to have a party because I got elected town councilor. Woo! Oh, you guys are the best. Yeah. Oh, it's time to go to work. What are we going to do? I don't know. I don't know. Let them fix it themselves. I don't know. But you're the town council. Well, in name, I'm the town councilor. I show up. Well, one of them doesn't even show up. So again, this is what you're getting. This is what you're getting. But Kurt Millard will show up. Kurt Millard will do the work. He'll work perfect with Jim Lettieri. Because they're both kind of the same temperament. Although I think Jim's a little more fiery at times, which he should be. Because that's what you want in a town council president. Got to have a little fire in you. You know, don't get rolled on. Because Lydia Edwards will roll all over Hannah. And as soon as she gets elected, Hannah best not step out of line. Because the question would be like, who got you here? Who do you owe? You owe me. Hannah Belcher will be in debt to Lydia Edwards. Doing a deal with the devil. I'll sell my soul for rock and roll. But when the music's over, what do you got? Nothing. You got nothing. And that'll be Hannah. She best not step out of line, or Lydia will correct her. Because remember, when you rely on somebody to get you something, you owe them. You owe them. There is a debt that needs to be paid. And Hannah will sell her soul. She's already sold her soul to Lydia. She will pay that debt any way Lydia wants her to. She'll pay it twice. She'll pay it 3 times. You know what I'm talking about. I don't think anybody watching this is an idiot. I think you know how that plays. When you get into politics, anything, in a job, if someone gets you promoted, you owe them. Hey, I'm going to step up for you, but you owe me 1 or 3. Right? That's what in politics especially. Maybe not in the workplace. That's 50-50. But in politics, you always owe. You always owe somebody. And Lydia will pull those strings. And Winthrop will pay the price. That is a guarantee. So Kurt Millard, back to Kurt Millard. That's the guy you want to vote for at large. I'd stake my reputation to To some people, it's not a good thing. Maybe I should use a different analogy. Because there's people out there that do not like me. There's people in Winthrop because of this. They do not like me. And like my buddy Dana White said, I don't give a fuck. So, Kurt Millar, Joe Romano in Precinct 3. What do we got? Oh, you know who we haven't talked about? Precinct 5. MBTA Joe Aiello. This guy is straight up just hates Winthrop. That is a miserable human being who will just needs, he's got the little man syndrome. And I think most of you know what that is, that little man syndrome. Like you give him a little bit of power. Look I was in law enforcement for 32 years. I've seen it. I've seen it more than a couple times. Little dude gets a badge, gets some power, and he's an asshole. Total asshole. Because he has a little power. Well, MBTA Joe Aiello, who will let the MBTA, like him and Lydia, he works hand in hand with Lydia, by the way. He's going to let them come into Winthrop, and he wants 3A all the way because he's going to get paid for that, one way or another. He was associated. He worked for the MBTA for a while. He was up there for some. You can look him up. If you Google him, you'll see his connection to the MBTA. And it's not good that he is pushing and pushing and pushing. This guy has caused some shit behind the scenes too. See, I get information, and then I get information that I can't really talk about. Because I get asked, because it involves people that don't want to be named. So I can give you roundabouts. I can give you the gist of what's going on. But this guy is behind the scenes just tormenting some people because he doesn't like what they're doing. I'm a town councilor. I am going to come in and I am going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want this. I want that. I don't want to go into any more details, but the dude is that little guy with the badge who's going to make your life miserable just because it's going to make him feel good about himself. This is the dude. This is the male. Call him a male because he's not a man. Not in my book. Who, like a lunatic, they had a petition. They were taking names. They were getting for the Max Tassinari, the Elon Omar of Winthrop. To get him recalled. And this male, this beta male, that's better, stood off down the center, and Winthrop people know what I'm talking about, down the center. He had a baseball hat and glasses on, like he's in a spy movie. Sunglasses and a baseball hat, right? And he's heckling the people that are taking names. This is a fact. This is not made up. This is Joe Aiello. This is the guy that's running again for Precinct 5. Who's been running unopposed, who thinks he can do whatever he wants. But this is the guy that is representing a precinct, but he's down there heckling people that are doing this, what they think is their civic duty, collecting names for a recall. Why are you bothering them? And it's women. So Joe Aiello evidently has a problem with women because of the incident with the elderly woman at the town council meeting, right? And now he's yelling at women that are collecting names because he's trying to save the squad. He's trying to save Ariana Presley is trying to save Elon Omar. This is what we got. This is what we got in Winthrop. Joe Aiello's trying to save Max Tassinari because they're the squad. They're the Winthrop squad. They want to fuck Winthrop up. They want to flip everything upside down. And if they get voted in, that's what's going to happen. They will do this. The only thing that's keeping them at bay is it's a 4-4 deadlock on the town council. There was a vote to have somebody come in, as Karen Chavez, who was like, that woman is Winthrop. Karen Chavez is Winthrop. She knows everything about the town. She knows everything about town hall. She knows how it runs. She knows the books. She knows the record. She knows the billing. She knows everything. But these four voted against her being a replacement on the town council. The most eligible person the town could have. Far and above all of them on that town council. And these four voted against her because she's probably anti-3A. I'm not going to speak for her. I don't know what her stance is on it. I could probably be safe to say that she is probably anti-3A because she knows what's going to happen in Winthrop. But don't quote me on that. I just know she's a great candidate that should have been sitting on that town council. And those four, maybe 3 voted no. Because, then there's this. Hannah Belcher. Hannah, I abstain. If you go and look at votes, look how many times she's in the big issues, the hot button issues, as we'll call them. They weren't the biggest issues in the town, but they were hot button issues. The flag, where the gay pride flag was going to fly and when it was going to fly. That was a very contentious issue in the town. And when the money was on the line, it was all right there on the table. So it's yay or nay. Hannah Belcher, I abstain. What the? Abstain? You should never abstain from a vote if you're on a town council. Never. You have to have an opinion. It might be, like I said earlier, the better of two evils, but you have to have an opinion on something. But she thinks abstaining plays it safe. And she did it to like 2 other big votes. Abstain. Is that who you want as the town council president? Somebody who can't even get minutes on a subcommittee, doesn't know, or she doesn't know that you need minutes for every committee meeting, and it's right there on the town website to go look for the minutes, and then she abstains from big issue votes, hot button issue voting. She abstains. Is that who you want as the town council president? It can't be. But Lydia Edwards does, and those extra 535 voters that showed up all of a sudden on the with the voter registration. They all of a sudden showed up. You have to, Winthrop, this is you. This is all up to you, Winthrop. This is all up to you as the voter. Again, don't be Hannah. Don't abstain from this vote. Do not abstain from this vote. Go out and vote for your town. You either want 3A, and if you want it, vote for it. But if you know it's good for you, you know it's good for Winthrop, and you're not getting any salt, you will get nothing out of this but a headache. Not fear-mongering, stating the facts. Stating the facts. Oh, by the way, Joe, MBTA, Joe Aiello, I got some numbers here. What did he say? He's donated $43,000 to, what is it? The Office of Campaign and Political Finance or something like that. More than any other town council. This guy is invested in the state. He is invested in working with the state. Joe Aiello, the woman hater, evidently. Just, it's a track record, right? It's a trend. We'll call it a trend. He's the only town councilor in the history of Winthrop politics. Joe MBTA, little man Joe Aiello, beta male. He's the only town councilor to ever be censured. When you get censured by the Winthrop Town Council, how bad do you have to be? Like, how bad do you have to be to get censured by the Winthrop Town Council? This guy is, I mean, it's only because he's been running unopposed, and evidently he's not even putting signs out for this. He just thinks he's going to get reelected, evidently. He was a big proponent of micro units being put in Winthrop, little micro unit apartments being put in Winthrop. Joe Aiello. Let me see. He gave oodles of money to Wu, Healy, Driscoll, Andrea Campbell, and the list goes on. This is that guy. He pays his money to play. He pays to play. He pays to play in state politics. And he sits on the Winthrop Town Council. And he got censured by the town council. Oh, and by the way, he was asked to, after he put hands on that the fine woman, the elderly woman on the town council, who didn't, she ran for office because she felt it was something that she wanted to do, she needed to do. And she goes there, this is her first term, and this guy puts hands on her and says, like, about her daughter, she's a fucking liar, or she's fucking lying again. Like, what kind of person does that? But they moved him, like, he got moved to the other end of the room, like the table. If you see the table, it goes like this. He got put all the way, they put him in the corner. And little Joey didn't like that. Little Joey didn't like that. So little Joey started causing trouble at town hall. He didn't like that people didn't do what he wanted them to do. So I guess Paul Reardon is running in Precinct 5. That's your guy. If on anything, fucking general principle. On fucking general principle, vote for Paul Reardon, although I do hear he's a good guy too. I do not mean to downplay him like that and say just on general principle, but if that's an option for you, Joe Aiello, if you're in Precinct 5 and you're hearing this guy who's run unopposed, which when you run unopposed, all you need is one vote, really. So we don't even really know, like, you know, who supports him and who doesn't. But if you thought Phil Boncory threw a temper tantrum when me, Todd Sacco, and Winthrop votes got him ousted from the town council presidency, you watch the temper tantrum this little dude, this little beta male's going to throw if he does not win re-election. It'll be one for the record books. This guy will lose his mind because then he'll have nothing. When you have power and you flaunt it, you're not a good person. You're not a good person. If you have power and you use it wisely, you're all right with me. Like I said, Kurt Millar needs to be on that town council. So, Jim Lettieri, Kurt Millar, Paul Reardon, Joe Romano. Those are your people. And then we hear a blast from the past. The old, what was he? He was the head of the health department in Winthrop. Bill the Shill Schmidt. He's running for library committee. There's 4 seats, 5 people. Which is how the town council, by the way, should be elected. It should be that way. So then everybody has to campaign. I don't know. They're not going to change it now because it's convenient for them. It's like asking Congress to not get pay raises. Vote yourself to not get a pay raise. That town council will never change that. It's not going to happen. But Bill Schmidt has a bad record with another one who disrespected women on the what was it? What was the board? The Board of Health, and that was on video also. See, these people get complacent. They think that it's just Winthrop and no one's paying attention. Just like Hannah Belcher thought no one was paying attention when she wasn't taking minutes on her subcommittee, when she wasn't checking the minutes on her subcommittee. What did we say? 7 meetings? Only one of them had notes. So yeah, it's that library committee is 3 seats, 4 people are running. One of them can't be Bill Schmidt. Trust me on that. And that's a guy who can't leave it alone because he wants a little bit of power. He ran that Board of Health like it was his, not the people's. Like it was his. Like Joe Aiello he sits on the town council like it's his. And Hannah Belcher sits on the town council, but she knows it's Lydia's seat, not hers. Full circle. So that's what we got tonight. That's what we get tonight. And I'll probably be back tomorrow night too. Now, I guess last night's video has, I don't know, over 600-700 views, which is great. But if you like this, share it. Share it with your friends who might not have access to this. I leave it open on my Facebook page, share it. And again, you might not like me, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck, right? But like your town. Don't not like Winthrop because I love Winthrop. Take a step back. Take a deep breath. This isn't Democrat versus Republican, liberal versus conservative. This is not that. I will finish tonight by saying all politics starts at the local level. And when local level politics gets tampered with, nothing good happens. And there's tampering going on here with Winthrop. Like never before. Like never before. If you're an old-time Winthrop resident, think about the last time a state senator stepped in and started giving people to a person that's running for town council president, giving door knockers, and bringing in people from out of town to hold signs, and getting, or Joe Aiello and Lydia getting the Globe to write an article about, 3A and Winthrop, and then getting the union, getting a union to back a town council president in Winthrop. You have to look at all this and say, something's wrong here. And you are the one that can stop it by not being Hannah Belcher on election day, election night, or go early. Do not abstain from this vote. Don't. I don't want to say you'll regret it, but Winthrop needs to save itself from the state, from Hannah Belcher, from Joe Aiello, from all of the people that are trying to ruin that town. And there's a lot of people that don't like it the way it is now. You will hate it a year from now. You will hate it. And you don't want to be stuck in that. You don't want to be stuck in that. Because it might not be easy to get out. And that's what I'm going to say. And I'll be back tomorrow night, more or less, most likely, with another live stream of Save Winthrop. Only you can save Winthrop, voters. Do a little bit of homework. You can trust me or you might not trust me. But I love Winthrop. And I love doing what's right for Winthrop. And this is why I do this. Because I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And we got to save Winthrop. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you didn't like it, well, thanks for watching for an hour. We just hit an hour right on the dot. And like it and share it. And I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.